Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Atira binti Kamarudin. Me and my group will present about just in time. Before we start our presentation, let me introduce our group members. So, our group members consist of 5 members, which are Ainul Mardiha binti Azhar, Karisma Dura binti Kamaruzaman, Nur Azhani binti Azman, Nur Faraziatul Adawiyah binti Idris, and me myself Nur Atira binti Kamarudin. Now, let's proceed with the introduction of Just in Time. Just in Time, or also known as JIT, is a pull-driven inventory system in which materials, parts, sub-assemblies and support items are delivered just when needed and neither sooner nor later. In essence, JIT inventory control produces only what is needed, when needed, and only in the amount required. JIT inventory control also produces the required units in required quantities with the right quality. Moving on, JIT began after World War II, whereby the Japanese are facing some problems to continue the business as they lack the cash to finance big batch or large inventory production methods used by other countries. However, Taichi Ono adapted the system at Toyota to handle smaller batch sizes and more variety in the parts that could be used to construct assemblies. He got the idea from American supermarket system that able to keep the shelf stocked with just the right amount of each product. Therefore, he began to use paper cards for signaling and tracking demand in his factory and named the system Kanban. Hence, the JIT system was initiated in 1952 with full deployment of the Kanban system by 1962. In the late 1970s and 1980s, the JIT system spread to the United States and was popularized in Western media as the Toyota production system. What is the purpose of JIT? The objective of JIT are to eliminate inventory, eliminate waste and reduce cost. Firstly, to eliminate inventory, the production will be processed only if there are orders from customers. So, as I said before, in JIT, the items only will be produced when it is needed. Hence, it will eliminate inventory as there is no stock to be stored. The next objective is to eliminate waste. As in the JIT system, the items will be produced when it is needed. Therefore, JIT can eliminate overproduction, which happens when the supply of an item in the market exceeds the demand and leads to an accumulation of unsellable inventories. These unsellable products turn into inventory dead stock, which increases waste and consumes inventory space. So, there is no risk of accumulating unsellable inventory. The last objective is to reduce cost. JIT system can reduce cost as the company will not produce or store any excess inventory. As warehousing is expensive and excess inventory can double the holding cost. Therefore, the warehouse holding costs are kept to a minimum.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Faraziatul Adawiyah and I will continue the presentation regarding the key features of Just in Time. There are several key features of Just in Time system. The first one is pull method. This feature explains in the system, material will be purchased when it is needed and demands from customer. When an order received from a customer, the department will request to purchase a raw material to produce the product to avoid wastage of inventory. This leads in reducing the level of inventory as the amount of inventory purchased will be based on demands from customers. The second one is simplified production process. This system actually simplifies the production flow from the beginning of arrival of raw material until the end of delivery of the product to the customer. It also speeds up the production process as the non-added value activities had been removed. Next is quick and inexpensive setups of production machinery. The production of goods will be in small batches and the setup times need to be reduced to meet customer delivery requirements. In order to reduce the setup times, the department can make analysis of the activities and eliminate the non-added value items. Lastly, for the key features are effective preventative maintenance of equipment. Frequent preventative maintenance is essential to ensure the production delay can be avoided in the process to meet customer requirements. Next, we move on to the element of just in time. Now, let's go one by one each element. The first one is elimination of waste. Basically, just-in-time aims to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of production process in reducing the non-value-added activities. There are several ways that can be prevented. One of them is overproduction waste, waste of waiting time, transportation waste, and inventory waste. Next element is continuously improvement. In just-in-time, the existing problems are being corrected and new problems will be identified. In the concept of Kaizen, where it has reduced the inventory, cost, machine setups, and preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance can be explained as the machines can be used when it is needed to operate. It is very important for the company to continuously improve to maintain the competitiveness in the market. Other than that is employee involvement. People involvement and employee empowerment is very important in just-in-time. This is because employee knowledge and expertise has been used for the company in order to understand the production process so that the production can be performed efficiently. The employee also will be treated with respect and motivate them to produce more innovative ideas for the company. Lastly, total quality management. It is very important element to maintain customer satisfaction and improves internal practices between employees. Every employee involved in production is accountable and managed to gain more quality over the course of production. Next is how just-in-time can be applied successfully. It is very crucial to create a long-term relationship between suppliers and customers. This is to ensure the goods order will be received just in time with the customer demand. Next is to identify the added value activities and eliminate the non-value added activities. This will help to eliminate the unnecessary costs in the production that is not beneficial for the company and customers. Lastly, to ensure the top management commits the effectiveness and successful implementation. Disciplinary in conducting production flow is very important in just-in-time system. In order to successfully implement, the top management should play a big role in the process. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter, Nur Azani, to continue the presentation.
Okay, now I will continue on with the presentation on how just-in-time works. Just-in-time is an inventory management strategy that aligns raw material delivery to specific production cycles so that materials arrive as production is scheduled or to meet customer demand but no sooner. This ensures there are enough stock to produce what is needed when it is needed with the goal of increasing operation efficiency with minimal inventory on hand and eliminating waste. In just-in-times, all parts of any productions or service system, particularly people, are interconnected that inform each other and are mutually dependent on generating successful outcomes. For example, if a customer places an order, then the manufacturer will order the materials required from the supplier. Next, supplier delivers the material and manufacturer assembles them into finished products. Lastly, customer receives the product. Next, steps of just-in-time. Organization may vary in how they implement JIT in their environment, but the general steps are the same. There are 8 steps which consist of design, manage, pool, establish, fine-tune, book, refine, and review. First, we look at the design phase. The JIT process begins with a review of the essential manufacturing building blocks. For example, product design, process design, personnel and manufacturing planning. Then, plans are put into place to eliminate disruption, minimize waste, and build a flexible system. Second, manage. A total quality management TQM review ensures there is continuous improvement throughout the process. A management review defines workers' role and responsibilities, defines and measures statistical quality control, stabilizes schedule and check-out loads and capacity schedules and levels. Third, pool. This phase is to educate the team on production and withdrawal methods using signaling methods like Kanban. For example, review lot size policies and reduce lot sizes. Kanban is the controlling work-in-progress production and inventory movement. It is crucial when it comes to eliminating manufacturing waste due to overproductions. Kanban pool system more flexibility on the production floor because the company only produces goods based on the actual orders. It uses cards to track the progress of production on a factory floor. As inventory moves through the manufacturing process, Kanban cards reflects that progress and can signal when it is time to order more stocks. Fourth, establish. Vendor relationships are vital to success of just-in-time. For example, an organization needs to review vendors lists, settle on preferred suppliers, negotiate contracts, discuss lead times, delivery expectations, and uses metrics and measures in order to achieve its goals. Next, the fifth steps of just-in-time is fine-tuned. Organization needs to make some adjustment in order to achieve the best or desired performance. For example, determine inventory needs, policies, controls, and reduce inventory movement. 6. Work. Organization need to inform their team about the skills and capabilities it needs to complete its work and conduct team education and empowerment sessions to educate them. 7. Refine. Reduce the number of parts and steps in production by refining, standardizing, and reviewing the entire process. The last step of just-in-time is review. Define and implement quality measures and metrics and conduct a root cause analysis of any problems. Emphasize improvement and track trends to improve every aspect of just-in-time. That's all from me. I'll pass the next slides to Ainul Mardiha.
Thank you, Azhani. Now I will continue the presentation with the advantages of just-in-time. The first advantage is just-in-time can reduce space needed in business. With just-in-time, companies will have a faster turnaround of stock, which means that they do not need a lot of warehouse or storage space to store goods or materials. Ultimately, this will reduce the amount of storage space of the organization will need to rent or buy, which will free up funds for other parts of the business. Next, just-in-time needs only smaller investment to be practiced. JIT inventory management is an ideal methodology for small production facilities that do not have the funds needed to purchase huge amount of stock at once. Ordering stock materials only when they are needed enable companies to maintain a healthy and smooth cash flow. Another advantage of just-in-time is waste elimination. A faster turnaround of stock prevents goods that have become damaged or obsolete while sitting in storage, reducing waste. This is again save money through preventing investment in any unnecessary stock and reducing the need to replace all stock. While there are many advantages to the just-in-time methodology, there are also some drawbacks to it as well. These are some of the disadvantages of just-in-time manufacturing. The first disadvantage is risk of running out of stock. With just-in-time manufacturing, companies do not carry as much stock. This is because they base their stock off demand forecasts. And if those are incorrect, then they will not have the correct amount of stock readily available for their consumers. This is one of the most common issues with manufacturing that utilize methodologies such as JIT and Lean. The second disadvantage of just-in-time is dependency on suppliers. Having to rely on the timelessness of suppliers for each order puts companies at risk of delaying their customers' receipt of goods. If they are unable to meet consumer expectations, then they could take their business elsewhere. Therefore, it is important to choose reliable suppliers and having a strong relationship with them so that companies can make sure that they have the materials they need to meet the customer demands. Another disadvantage is more planning required. With just-in-time inventory management, it's imperative that companies understand their sales trends and variants in close detail. Most companies have seasonal sales periods, meaning several products need a higher stock level at certain times of the year due to higher demand. Therefore, they need to factor that into planning for inventory levels, ensuring suppliers can meet different volume requirements at different times. Now, let's proceed with the next presentation on the challenges, or other words, the problems with just-in-time production strategy. The first challenge would be supply shocks. On-demand production means companies must find suppliers that are willing to fulfill small, frequent orders on very short notice, which often means using local suppliers to reduce shipping time and expenses. With no backstock of inventory or materials, any supply chain issue can lead to delivery delays and angry customers. The sudden increase in the price of raw goods due to issues with material sourcing, shortages, natural disaster, or political upheaval called supply shock can also pose a serious threat to the ability of a company to service its customers effectively. The second challenge of just-in-time is demand shock. JIT production is based entirely on existing orders. It is not the most efficient system for dealing with the unexpected. A company that uses this strategy may be ill-equipped to handle a sudden surge in demand for a product. The lack of backup inventory means customers must wait for the company to receive supplies and manufacture the product. This can mean extended delays, dissatisfied customers, and potential forfeit of part or all an order if any supply chain issues arise. Another challenge is large orders. Inability to fulfill large orders in a timely manner can cost a business money, but there are other hidden expenses inherent in the JIT strategy that are just as important, though less dramatic. Producing goods for sale in smaller quantity means spending less per shipment of raw materials, but it can end up costing the company more. Businesses that have high production levels benefit from the economy of scale. As production increases, the average cost of producing each item actually decreases. This is partially because large wholesale purchases often come with generous quantity-based discounts. Businesses that utilize the JIT production strategy may pay more per item because they must make smaller, more frequent orders that do not qualify for this type of price breaks. Now, I will pass the presentation to Karisma.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and I hope everyone is having a very good day. Before I continue my presentation, let me introduce to you myself. My name is Karisma binti Kamar Zaman, and I will tell you about the applications of just-in-time system in real life. Now, as you guys can see, I already highlighted about 4 categories in here, which are fast food chain, technology, apparel, and also automotive. Now let us go thoroughly on the subtopics. Without further ado, let us start by the fast food chain. So fast food chain uses just-in-time inventory to serve the customers on a daily basis. They will have a lot of raw materials at stores. However, they won't start assemble and make your product to the final end unless the customer make an order. For instance, we can see in McDonald's, they have a Sunday machine. However, will they provide before you make an order? No, because it will melt. Therefore, they will only make an order once a customer places an order. This will also ensure consistency and also increasing customer satisfaction as items are made more freshly. Next, we have here is the technology. Now, how do they have a strategic and robust relationship with the help of JIT system? I'm going to give you a clear view with the help from Apple. So Apple's new Chief Executive Officer, who is named Tim Cook, changed the system by closing all the warehouses and factories around the world. So how would they survive? By using a different JIT system to which they focus on leveraging their suppliers to achieve their JIT goals. So Tim Cook opted to instead establish a just-in-time relationships with independent manufacturing contractors, to which many of them are located in China, in order to have a cheaper labor and cost of goods. So this helps Apple to reduce the amount of time and Apple's inventory set on the balance sheet, to which from months to days. And Cook also credits all of these changes as a key factor of growth of Apple and profitability. Moving on to the third one is the automotive. Now, it goes the same as the fast food chain. However, the difference is that fast food chain will only make the product into the final end when the customer confirms the order. So for automotive, they will only order the raw materials when there is a confirmed orders from the customers. So this will help, for instance, Harley Davidson to decrease the inventory level up to 75% as they eliminated extra warehousing costs and increase the productivity as they are more responsive to customers' orders with minimal lead time. And the last subtopic in the applications of just-in-time in real life is the usage of JIT system in the apparel industry. So, how does Apple apply the JIT system? Is on their production, on their delivery system. So, For Nike, in 2012, Nike implemented GI to improve its disconnected production facilities across Southeast Asia. Since then, the company can cut lead times by 40%, increase productivity by 20%, and they can create new models faster by 30%. And that's all for my talk for today. And I'll pass back the platform to Nur Atira to conclude our seminar for today.
In conclusion, GIT system is very effective and efficient in eliminating waste. The process also enables companies to use more of the warehouse for assembly and production. Therefore, space is not wasted and utilized instead to maximum capacity. This also reduces inventory costs. It can be achieved if all parties involved in the ecosystem of the supply chain will be committed to achieve this and work cohesively with a great amount of consideration. Therefore, GIT will need very careful planning and timely communication in the chain. The whole organization must be committed to this philosophy. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you.